Welland.
Mr. Speaker, the gap between American and Canadian food safety standards is almost as embarrassing as it is concerning. The government promised 170 new inspectors, but a senior CFIA official says there are only 35 in training and 35 to be hired over the next 2 years. But last week, the minister stood in his place and he said, quote, "We will have hundreds of new inspectors by this time next year dedicated to that frontline operation." Mr. Speaker, somebody can't count. Is it the CFIA or is it this minister?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
That member, I passed math in school and can count. What I said was we will have hundreds of new inspectors since we formed government. We will, Mr. Speaker. To March of 2009, we had net 445 new inspectors working, Mr. Speaker. We continue to add to that line. I know the member opposite is listening to one particular union. There are two that represent CFIA. He doesn't have the full numbers from both of them, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Welland.
Mr. Speaker, that was actually the management of the CFIA, not its union. More empty promises won't keep our food safe, Mr. Speaker. The fact is, since 2008 listeriosis crisis, the number of meat inspectors on the ground has not increased. The government waited for the U.S. to force them to start fixing the gap between American and Canadian inspection standards. And even though they promised to complete it by last January, we still haven't seen the resource audit demanded by the Weatherhall report that they requested to know how many inspectors we really need. Canadians deserve a clear answer. When will the long overdue inspectors be in place?
The Honourable Minister of Agriculture and Agri-Food.
Mr. Speaker, the audit has begun and is in full swing to know the efficacy of CFIA, where we need people and how many more we need. We haven't waited for the full report, Mr. Speaker. We've begun to hire them. We've put budgetary monies, $75 million immediately after Weatherall. We've allocated another $13 million. Together that will hire 175 new placements within CFIA, Mr. Speaker. We're getting the job done. The unfortunate part is, every time we tend to move forward, the NDP vote against those initiatives, Mr. Speaker. That's shameful.
L'Honourable député